Next up is the calendar. There's a really weird industrial sound at the beginning, like industrial metal, if you know what that is. Makes like Put it this way, industrial metal has a bunch of sounds, instruments that just sound like construction stuff. I think Marilyn Manson, if you know him, is instrumental or industrial metal. There's a very heavy instrumental contrasting Brendan's bright vocals, which I reckon is really interesting. There's a nice guitar sound in the chorus. It cuts out nicely midway though. But only there's the last line in the chorus is like, but only for you. I butchered it, but it sounds really nice when he does it. That guitar makes the chorus really explosive. It's like, da, da. Okay, I'm gonna stop trying to. I'm gonna stop trying to, do that. Mimic the. Actually, no, I probably won't bother trying to stop. I also like how the end of the chorus stops and then comes back in more softly for the next verse. The instrumental bridge is a really weird sound with some guitar, drums, and metallic sounding things. Brendan's vocals in the third chorus work really nicely as far as how they change things up, as far as pitching and all that. The post-chorus chanting makes for a really nice ending, leading up to just the drums and percussion playing the song out. Then we get a really weird outro song bit. Same deal as with Kaleidoscope Eyes and Hurricane and that. That sounds like a cabana club or something that might play in like a cave level of a video game. I don't know. Is there a reason why there are so many seemingly unrelated outros in this songs? Because I was never able to find out what the reason is. If anyone else knows, I'd be interested to hear it. So this song is about both the end of a relationship and the departure of Ryan Ross and John Walker from the band. Brendan told MTV News that the song started off as a breakup song, but later turned into a track about the Panic split. It's weird how those two things can kind of go hand in hand with each other. Anyway, I give this song a 7.5 out of 10. It's a very explosive chorus, really interesting musical composition that mixes things up well, so it's very memorable. I like other songs better though, so this one I've scored in between those and the ones I think the calendar's better than. Anyway, next up, Trade Mistakes. There are strings in the opening of the very slow strings in the opening. Sounds very serious. We'll probably get some at this point I was thinking, okay, we'll probably get some guitar and drums soon enough with these strings, but no. We get some keyboard instead. At least I think it's keyboard anyway. There are some chimes in the verse as well. I reckon it sounds really nice. During the chorus, we get a vocal explosion that doesn't really match the instrumental change for the chorus. The vocals are kind of like carrying the explosion. It's a vocal explosion, but not an instrumental explosion. And usually, the best explosions in songs are ones that have vocal and instrumental explosions. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of the vocals in this song. Maybe it's just because they're very piercing, or maybe it's that the instrumental doesn't really complement it that well. I think I prefer the verses over the chorus, just because of the chimes. There are some interesting lyrics for Trade Mistakes. Not what I thought it would be. So, when I saw the title Trade Mistakes, I initially was thinking like a trade type of job. like, I don't know, construction or something like that, like a trade, and you're like making a mistake in that job. But instead, he's talking about like, if I could trade mistakes with you, I would, or something like that. It's not what I was expecting. It kind of surprised me, which is nice. There's a nice choir at the bridge, particularly at the bit when it's like, there's one of the lyrics is sinking her, and the choir accompanies that. That's a really nice sound for the choir. Then the third chorus, we just get the drums at first. Then the rest of the lyrics with several backing vocal layers. It's nice. Then we get a fade out with just the strings. Again, I think it's a cello that's most prominent here. But it's a really nice fade out instrument. If it's a cello, then the cello is a really nice fade out instrument. And yeah, it starts with strings, ends with strings. It's cool. In this song, Brendan's lamenting the mistakes he made in a relationship, wishing he could reverse them. While they were together, he probably committed numerous vices, ones he now hates himself for committing. And you know what? Since they're going along with this whole vices thing, I'll play along. I'm now going to say that he shows a virtue in this song by expressing remorse for his actions. Boom! English student. 10 out of 10. Band 6. Here we go. Alright. I give this song a 7 out of 10. Trade Mistakes has a 7 out of 10 grade. By me. Good ol' have a good one, Sam. I'd place it on roughly the same level of quality as Memories. They both have nice sounds overall, with some things that lead me to not scoring them as highly as the others in this album. I'd say Trade Mistakes and Memories are kind of on like a similar level. Next up, I Wanna Be Free. Okay, now this one is actually one of the bonus tracks that was included in the deluxe edition, actually. Hold on, let me just double check that, actually. I Want to Be Free. Yes, I Want to Be Free is one of those bonus tracks. At this point, the only other one that we've looked at so far is Kaleidoscope Eyes. But yeah, I Want to Be Free. So we get some drums in the beginning, cheerful sounding guitar and strings, a nice echo effect in the first verse. I like the lyricism in the chorus, but the instrumental is a bit underwhelming. It sounds more poppy than their other stuff. Actually, you know what? Brendan's vocals in the halfway point of this chorus kind of reminds me of his vocals in the halfway point of Hurricane's chorus. It's pretty similar. We get a nice falsetto in the bridge. We get a nice organ to fade out the song. I'm not sure if it's an organ, but it sounds like it. I don't know. I could be completely wrong about it. I mean, no, I'm never wrong. I'm never wrong when it comes to anything. I'm the man who did a chips tier list. I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this song's about feeling trapped in a one-sided romance. It discusses the vice of insincerity. And I guess kind of like an obsession with being loved, almost. Anyway, I give this song a 6 out of 10. I Want to Be Free, 6 out of 10. The chorus is more underwhelming than the others have been, but it's still got quite a few good things in it. So, I gotta give it, like, more than a 5 out of 10 for that reason. Anyway, next up is Bittersweet. Now, this was the song that you got, this was the bonus track that you got if you pre-ordered the album on iTunes. And according to Genius Lyrics, this is the last song of the album. And it would also be the last song of the album if you pre-ordered it on iTunes. But according to the YouTube playlist, this isn't the last song on the album. It comes after I Want to Be Free, which is like in the middle of the album. So I guess for now, I'll just think about this song as both. Okay, we're at 43 minutes. Yeah, I'll look at the song, what it's like as an ending song and just like as its own thing. Judging it by its ending, I'm not gonna, the grade won't be affected by how good of an ending song it is, but I will still talk about how it kind of fits in, I guess. Yeah. Anyway. So, we get this radio sound at the beginning. We get this guitar sound, this guitar riff, rock guitar riff, that kind of sounds like a 2000s rock riff. It's a nice sound. There's a bit that's like ba 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 ba, ba or whatever it is. I like the ba 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 bas. Anyway, the chorus is a really nice sound. The guitar and drums combined with Brendan's vocals sounds really nice. There's like this bit at the end that's like woo woo woo. It's nice. It's nice. It's cool. It's nice knowing that he's having fun. Also, my laptop was not charging that whole time. I'm an idiot. Yeah. Woo woo woo. It's a really nice beat as well. The bridge makes a really nice change of pace with stripped back instrumentals and a deeper vocal performance. I think Brendan like drops the octave, so he's going into like his Frank Sinatra voice. For the record, the chorus is so catchy. I need to mention. Actually, you know, the whole thing is so catchy. Like, French kiss. Anyway, this song is about getting what you wanted, namely a relationship, and having it not turn out like the fairy tale you expected. Which makes sense, even in the title of the song, Bittersweet. Now, it's a really nice song. As an ending song, what is it like? I think it works really well as an ending song. It's a really upbeat song to end the whole album off, and it leaves the audience with a really nice feeling to wrap it all up. I think it really works well as an ending song. Definitely better than Build God Then We'll Talk and Mad as Rabbits. What do I think of the song overall? I give it an 8 out of 10. It is absolutely criminal that this song was only released as a bonus for pre-ordering the song on iTunes. Who pre-orders albums? And on iTunes of all things. I mean, actually, no. You know what? This album came out in 2011. I knew that. 2011. It came out 2011. At that time, actually, iTunes was pretty big. So, yeah. Still, it's absolutely criminal that that's the only way you can get it. This song is really catchy, really upbeat, and it deserves to be known more. Genius Lyrics actually also mentioned that because of how difficult it is to get this song, at least before YouTube, it's probably one of Panic at the Disco's least known songs, but it is great. Anyway, next up is Nearly Witches, Ever Since We Met. So, according to, well, in the original release of the album, the one that only had 2 songs in, or 10 songs in it rather, this was the ending song, Nearly Witches, Ever Since We Met. So, let's see how this one is compared to Bittersweet. So, we get a spoken intro. It's very faint, though. I actually wouldn't know what was being said if not for the fact that I was reading the lyrics. The intro is sung in French. It's a nice sound. The synth organ thing works with the choir singing as well. Also, as for what they're singing in French, they're basically singing the chorus of the song. The guitar is pretty iffy with the melody, but the piano's doing some nice stuff. Also, I found Brendan really likes using those Michael Jackson squeals, like the hee hee, woo, woo. It's mostly the woos that he likes, actually. The chorus is pretty eh. Brendan's vocals are really nice. Although I've kind of started expecting that. The instrumental's nothing really special. The pre-chorus is really cool. The ending actually is really nice. The child choir backing up the instruments sounds pretty majestic. This is, like, just from the third chorus alone, this is definitely meant to be an ending song. Then we get a slow fade out at the end. Also, the outro references Ballad of Mona Lisa, which in the original version of the album is the first song of the album. So we go from the last to the first, coming full circle. That's pretty cool. I will say, the song got better as it went along, but most of it was pretty eh. The song describes the haunting of a man by a woman he's in love with. The song simultaneously describes their actions in reality and in the dreamlike state the narrator has fallen into since letting her go. I give this song a 7.5 out of 10. It's a pretty good ending song, links with the original release that starts with Ballad of Mona Lisa in a nice full circle thing, and it's definitely more of an ending song than the last two albums. At first, I found the general song as a whole kind of eh for the most part, but it did grow on me after a while, so I did give it a high score for that. I quite like this song now. And even before it warmed up to me, I still didn't think it deserved being lower than the last two ending songs. But now I quite like the song, so it got even higher. But as far as which song I reckon... Well, you know what, actually, I'll compare all the ending songs up till the last one. Anyway, next up is Oh Glory, demo. It's worth mentioning that as far as I know, there is no official version of Oh Glory, only this demo. I like the beat. It's really good. The synth is cool. The vocals also complement it well as a slapping beat. The chorus is pretty meh. The guitar kind of overwhelms what had been built up in the verses. I really like the guitar in the pre-chorus though, and then the guitar cuts through the chorus again, kind of overpowers everything else. I'm not really a huge fan of that. The vocals in the bridge, I don't think work as well as others beforehand. I get, like, he's doing this, like, harmony thing. I get what he's doing, but I don't think this works that well. The lyric, Oh Glory, the way that's sung, it's a good part. The guitar accompanies the drums, which works well. It kind of reminds me of a 2000s punk song. And the song is about tough times and seeing the harsh realities of the world we live in, which is actually very punk, I just realized. The song discusses the vice insincerity and the virtue glory. I give this song a 5.5 out of 10. It's an underwhelming chorus, nice verses, and the instrumental's kind of overpowered by that guitar. Next up is Stormy. There's a nice so in Stormy, there's a nice establishing drum beat. It sounds like it's holding back something huge. Like, there's a very explosive chorus coming, but they're just like holding it back, wait. And then we get to the chorus, and it's very underwhelming. The guitar cuts through, again, the same criticism that I had about Oh Glory. The vocals are pretty eh. But the bit where he's like just Stormy, it's a really nice vocal sound. Very punky. In fact, the melody almost reminds me of Stacy's mum. Okay. One of the lyrics is, my moods are mercurial, but I'm no Mercury. And I think that's kind of, of a lyric. I'm not sure if I like it. I will say though, the falsetto during the bridge sounds really nice. The drums are good at the end. Actually, the drums in general are really good in this album. I should say, like, the drums in all of the songs are always good. I'm definitely noticing them more this album, maybe because the drummer has a more prominent part in this album, since now the drummer, Spencer, is the only original member left other than Brendan. But yeah, Spencer's drumming is really good. So, Stormy is a self-contradictory song about Brendan's love for now wife Sarah Orzechowski. I say self-contradictory because some of the lines are jumpstart me and others are stormy. Contradictions! Anyway, it was written by Pete Wentz, who is apparently the bassist for Fall Out Boy, and was also the reason why Panic at the Disco got noticed in the first place. So, I give this song a 5.5 out of 10. It's a pretty meh song overall. I don't really find anything particularly special in this, but I still think it's better than Ready to Go. So far, Ready to Go is the weakest song in this album. As far as I'm concerned, anyway. Next up, we have Turn Off the Lights. Now, this is the final song of this album. It's the final song in the YouTube playlist, and also the final song in the deluxe edition of the album. So, yeah. I'm kind of inclined to believe this is the final song of the album. Anyway, we got some nice echoes, like in Kaleidoscope Eyes, some nice drums, and some nice deep vocals. It's a nice intro. Then the beat gets heavier, like a lot heavier. That's cool. The vocals get higher and brighter when we get to the chorus. When we get to the chorus, the vocals take a lighter tone during the chorus. Not as heavy as I was expecting it to be honest. Then the second verse, I think, is sung in up the octave. He sings the first verse in his Frank Sinatra type voice again. But then the second verse, he goes back to, like, classic Brendan. So there's that. I really like the heavy percussion hits. And also the bit where he's like, the lyrics are, but who needs time? The way he sings it just before the chorus, it's a really nice bit. The bridge kind of holds back more, like setting up an instrumental explosion again. The strings and a choir before coming back to the chorus. I will say, though, by the third chorus I've gotten used to it, which might suggest that the chorus doesn't actually change things up at all. The outro is alright. Then there's a really cool touch. The last note of the song is just like a single guitar strum. I reckon it's really cool. This song is a nod to the insecurities that plague almost everyone at some point. It's these insecurities that bring us down and don't let us achieve what we set out to do. Brendan's mindset remains dark, even in moments where he's with his significant other. To be honest, actually, this song's instrumental kind of reminded me of We Don't Have to Dance. Which, if you don't know that song, I wouldn't be surprised. To be honest, the only reason I found out about the song was from my Discover Weekly on Spotify. It's a really cool song, actually. I will say, I would recommend listening to that song, We Don't Have to Dance. As soon as my internet actually starts working again, I will tell you who sung the song as well. It's a rock type of song, and yeah, the melody and the beat really reminds me of Turn Off the Lights. Andy Black, that's the guy's name. Andy Black It was released in 2016. Also, it's actually, like, relatively recent. Yeah. Yeah, no. I'd recommend that. Andy Black's We Don't Have to Dance. The instrumental kind of reminds me of it. It's cool. It's nice. Anyway, I give this song a 7 out of 10. I find it to be the weakest ending song out of the three, but I still quite like the overall song. There's a few things I don't like about it, like the fact that I don't think the chorus really changes throughout, but overall it's still good. So now that I've gone through all the ending songs, I would say between Bittersweet, Nearly Witches, and Turn Off the Lights, as far as which song I reckon is the best song overall, I would say that it's Bittersweet. I am a huge fan of that song, actually. As far as which song I reckon is the best ending song, I would say Nearly Witches is the best ending song out of all of them, because it's more of an ending song. It ends more. It definitely is a more majestic end to it, and it was the one that was supposed to be the final song of the album anyway, so it makes sense that it works best. So yeah, best song out of those three, Bittersweet. Best ending song, Nearly Witches. And that's it! That was Panic at the Disco's Vices and Virtues, released in 2011. I'm sorry, I forgot to include the year that it came out in. I'm sorry. Overall, I would say this album is definitely better than the previous two. So far, Panic has been getting consistently better each album, which is good, because I'm only halfway through their albums now. I like concept albums, and the idea that each song explores a vice and a virtue is pretty interesting. Other than that, the songs don't really have that much of a connection with each other, but I mean, that's fine. The album doesn't really have any songs I would consider bad. The worst song I reckon is I'm Ready to Go, and that one I just find kind of generic, but still not bad. And there are a bunch of really good songs in this album. My particular favourites include, obviously, Hurricane, Ballad of Mona Lisa, Let's Kill Tonight, Kaleidoscope Eyes, Always, and Bittersweet. So now, for the final overall score, for those who don't know, I take all of the songs, the scores that I gave this album, and I add them all up. I add all the scores up and then divide them by the number of songs in this album to get an overall score, an overall average score for this album. So, if we're counting all of the bonus tracks, there are 16 songs in this album. So, if we go 8 out of 10 plus 8.5 out of 10, 8.5, 9, 8, 7, 5, 6.5, 7.5, 7, 6, 8, 7.5, 5.5, 5.5, and 7. Divide that by 16. Overall score, I give Vices and Virtues a 7.2 out of 10. Really? That's the overall score? I mean, like, it's still higher than Pretty Odd. But really? That's not as high as I was expecting it to be. I mean, to be fair, 7.2 out of 10. That's 72 out of 100. That's very close to a distinction if we're going by uni grades. That's decent. That's still pretty good, actually. That's very close to a distinction. But yeah. Yeah, that was Vices and Virtues. Thank you very much for listening if you made it through till the end. Really, really thank you for that. Hope you enjoyed. I reckon next week I will probably take a little bit of a break from Panic at the Disco. I'll do a different thing. I have an idea for something different to do next week. And yeah, next time I'll do something a bit different. And then maybe the week after, I'll come back and do the next 3 Panic albums. Anyway, if you liked this video, don't subscribe, keep your hand away from the little bell icon. I do not want you touching that little bell icon. No, don't do it. Don't. I know you want, don't. Stop it. Don't do it. I swear, don't do it. In fact, you know what? If... Far out, I might regret saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway, just to go along with the joke. If you liked it, don't like, in fact, dislike the video. If you were already subscribed, unsubscribe. I swear, if I show up, like, on my channel, like, the next day, and I have, like, 0 subscribers all of a sudden, and, like, 10 dislikes on this video, I swear, I'm gonna feel really sad. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. I won't tell you what I'm going to do next week. Leave that for a bit of a surprise. And until then, until next week, have a good one.